So, Chris, welcome back.
Yeah, out of basically nowhere.
Yeah. He has found a deck that he likes, and he's even said, I am not switching decks anytime soon, as Logan Mize starts off with Laguna Band Trailblazer. Our semifinals underway here from Chicago. A Temple of Abandon will allow Andersen to put the top card to the bottom, pass the turn back over to Mize. Mize will draw a card for the turn. He'll play a Battle-Wise Hoplite. Manic Influence will cause him to take 1. And Laguna Band Trailblazer is going to hold steady.
I don't mind an attack here. The cost is pretty low.
Yeah. Teach him a lesson.
Yeah, just let him know what your range is.
I do hope that at some point someone does that funny attack and then the opponent plays a Plains and Swift Reckonings it.
Yeah.
That's what needs to happen. I think you're so funny. Elvish Mystic to draw. There's another Temple here for Chris. Take a look at that top card. We'll see where this scry will go here momentarily. To the top it goes. Now there's an Elvish Mystic past the turn back.
And this is the problem that Green Devotion has in the matchup. This is now a third unchecked turn of development that Logan gets. He can tap out and doesn't have to care about anything.
Looks like this Johnny's Presence is on the upkeep. Logan looking to make his draw a little bit better.
I believe he's picked up another Trailblazer, which probably does not qualify.
Blaze on, baby. Not the best draw in the world. There's a Plains. Here's another Battle-Wise Hoplite, but that's okay.
But as you alluded to, you know, Logan still needs to have the right mixture of stuff, and that would have been a great turn for an enchantment, and he didn't have it.
Yep.
And if he's using a Johnny's Presence on the upkeep to scry, he may not have any enchantments to go with his creatures.
That'll tell you a lot about his draw, if that's what he's doing. He's got 3 creatures, got no auras yet, though. Here's a Temple from Chris. Chris, a very Temple-heavy hand. Lands at the end of the battlefield tapped. So he's not accelerating very well at all. He'll scry, though. At least gets to control the top of his deck a little bit. Top card going to go to the bottom yet again here for Andersen. 3 mana. Death Mist Raptor looking to do some blocking. Andersen will pass the turn back over to Mize. Mize will untap those 3 lands, take a draw step. Didn't get a great look at what he found. There is an aura. Scope of Ordeal of Heliod. This will give Mize a +1/+1 counter to his Battle-Wise Hoplite, allow him to scry. He wants to leave that card on top. Never a great feeling if you're on the other side of the table. Mize is going to come into the red zone. Battle-Wise Hoplite will get another counter. This also allow Mize to gain some life. Andersen's going to have to decide how he wants to block with this Death Mist Raptor, assuming that he does. There's a 5/5 Battle-Wise Hoplite coming. There's a 2/2 as well. He's going to block the big one. Mize is going to take 1 to cast something. It'll be God's Willing, which will allow Mize to scry twice, but I don't think he has any interest in scrying at all since he left that card on top a little while ago.
And this is another spot where Logan has a lot of bad draws and a couple very powerful ones. So if he left on top, probably looking at Ordeal of Thassa, Aqueous Form, or something similar.
Players making sure the life totals are correct here.
$14, a significant total here for Chris, because if Logan has an Aqueous Form to put on the large Battle-Wise Hoplite, that gets us to 7 power, 2-turn clock.
There's Xenagos. It's pretty late to this party.
Well, this could be something of a setup turn, hoping to play something large next turn, but if Aqueous Form is on top of Logan's deck, way too slow. Even Dragon Lord Tarka is not going to deal enough damage.
Not now. Aqueous Form is lights out. That's why Logan plays so many, too. Plays 4 copies of the card.
Yeah, his numbers are very decisive. We see some one-ofs hanging out in a lot of these these heroic lists, and he wants 4.
Aqueous Form right on top of the deck. He knew what he was drawing. Now he's attacking. He's scrying again. Top card's going to go to the bottom. In for 7 this turn, in for 7 next turn. Play like Laguna Band Trailblazer with a little flourish.
Yeah. When you have lethal on board, there's no shame in playing the second one.
Not at all.
If the game was close, I think you'd hold it back. Take that one with you.
Yeah. Don't want to show Chris too much.
Right.
Chris just never got off to a very fast start this game. All those lands entering the battlefield tap certainly had an effect.
Logan's draw was not explosive either. And
No.
I think if there's no Aqueous form on top of his deck, Chris might be able to overtake it with not even anything that spectacular from here, but this is just a little bit too fast.
A little bit too fast, or Chris a little bit too slow. One of the two. Logan sitting pretty at 26, no cards in hand, everything on the table. And a lethal Battlewise Hoplite attacking next turn. Chris is going to see if he can somehow work his way out of this situation. He's doing some math with Xenagos and Nykthos out there, so this could take a moment.
I believe Pelucranos requires 19 mana to cast. I don't know, it's a lot.
It's just simple math.
So I think he's a little short.
Here's Genesis Hydra. It's going to be for 2.
Oh, for 3 gives him the opportunity to hit Courser and maybe gain a life.
Okay.
All right, I respect that play. He
Yeah,
had,
I mean,
he had
play
a way
on.
to he had a way to maybe give himself one more turn. I don't know if he can actually flip that around and convert it to a win, but his out was gaining 1 there, and he had a rugged Highlands and to potentially draw, and of course a Crufix he could have hit there.
Fair enough. Logan Mize does win game number 1 here over Chris Andersen. White Blue Heroic up a game over Green Red Devotion as we do take a look at the sideboards here before game number 2. We will start with Andersen since he'll be on the play. He's got an Arbor Colossus, 2 copies of Roast, 2 Den Protector, 2 Gaia's Revenge, 3 Hornet Nest, 2 Plummet, an Ugin the Spirit Dragon, a Barrage of Boulders, and a spicy Nissa's Revelation.
I like the 2 copies of Roast a lot in this matchup. I think the 3 copies of Hornet Nest are excellent, and I would bring in the Ugin as well. A little bit slow, but, you know, Dragon Lord Atarka, Hornet Queen, those cards can resolve and not be impactful enough, especially if Logan has Aqueous form. But Ugin is very, very hard for Logan to beat if it enters play. So that would be my sideboarding.
Other side of things here for Logan, he's got a Laguna Band Trailblazer, 2 Treasure Cruise, 2 Monastery Mentor, 2 Seeker of the Way, 2 Stratus Walk, and a Johnny's Presence, 2 Disdainful Stroke, 2 Storm Denial, and a Triton Tactics.
I'm still looking to keep the deck relatively lean because I think that Logan's game 1 game plan is still solid in the post-board games. So I wouldn't go to anything as extreme as Treasure Cruise, but I definitely like bringing in the copies of Disdainful Stroke, the Johnny's Presence, and the 2 copies of Stratus Walk. Monastery Mentor to me could come in, maybe not.
Yeah, I wonder if he does want to go wide in this matchup or not. Stratus Walk, Disdainful Stroke, that's pretty obvious stuff. Mentor, it's a little more unclear.
Yeah, that to me is a fringe card. I definitely am interested in the Stratus Walk, the Johnny's Presence, and the 2 copies of Disdainful Stroke.
Well, these players will sideboard and shuffle up, and we will talk about SCG Game Night, the fantastic promotion. Thanks to you guys at home for playing in it. July is over halfway done, so you don't have a ton of time to get our Piglet friend here.
Yeah, you can over StarCityGames.com/game night. Find the game night closest to you. We send out these kits every month with new pins and foils. Stores can run the program however they want to any day of the week, sanctioned or unsanctioned. Just get players in the store for some fun and friendly magic. You are running out of time to get the July kit. If you want to get the August kit, come down the pipeline too. That's the monkey. Too late to get signed up for this, but if you want the September kit, which is the Kraken, head over to StarCityGames.com/game night or contact your Star City Games organized play representative.
Look at the Kraken. Unleash the beast.
Just in the tub, scrubbing off.
I absolutely love it. I'm a
Long
big
day
fan.
of capsizing boats. And just got to go and clean off.
Whatever else a Kraken does.
It's basically it from as far as I can tell. Drowning fishermen. It's, I don't know.
Drowning fishermen, capsizing boats. That's all it do.
Yep.
Yeah, okay, well, fair enough. Available in September. Star
And
City
it's
Games.
exhausting work. And you get pretty dirty doing that.
StarCityGames.com/game night for more information. And we do have an update for you guys in our backup match between Ross Merriam and Ton Win. We'll let you know. Nothing yet, though. They're in a Green Red Devotion mirror. That one can take a little while sometimes, but sometimes it doesn't take too long at all because they are just kind of ramping past each other.
Yeah, the game can sometimes slow down where it becomes hard to block and you're waiting for the first person to produce a haymaker like Genesis Hydra into Pelucranos or some such, but most of the time someone gets out in front and something like Whisperwood Elemental or Dragon Lord Atarka wraps up the game pretty quickly.
Chris Andersen, number 30 on our Season 3 leaderboard. Logan Mize, number 11. Logan did play in our Players' Championship last year. Chris could be well on his way to qualifying this year. He keeps putting up performances like this. He has been dominant over the past couple of tournaments.
Yeah, 3 top 8s in a row is pretty impressive. All with the same deck.
Can't forget he top 8 our Season 1 Invitational this year as well with Green-White Devotion back when that was a pretty big deal. It's been a really, really nice year for Chris. Seen him a lot on the Open Series. Expect to see him some more, too. Don't know if he'll be in Richmond next weekend.
And Chris has taken some extended breaks from Magic over the last couple of years, too. Focus on school or just feeling burned out. But his results have been very good when he's playing consistently.
Yeah. He's playing a couple of Pro Tours, made some deep runs there. He's very, very enthusiastic about this deck, though. A lot of Green-Red Devotion fans out there, and he is certainly one of them. And the results back it up.
Yes. Another player also adapting to the new lands in back,
yes,
creatures in front, coverage rule. Jeff Hoagland, another top 8 competitor, also acclimating.
A tough change.
We still haven't covered Adrian Sullivan on camera since the change. That's going to be a shock to the system the first time we see that.
Yeah, for him and everyone else, but for him mostly.
He claims he's fine with it. That he's played that way all the time. Or used to, at least.
We'll have to see.
No more lands in front. No more grids. No more Cali box outs.
No more Cali box outs. Really, really makes me sad. No more. Well, encroachment's still legal.
Yeah, encroachment is still legal. They're going to have to change that soon.
No, they don't. Encroachment's really all we have left.
Right.
Don't take it away. Chris going to take a mulligan.
Grand Prix Miami, especially with the Green-White Devotion mirrors, was an encroachment fest.
Just proper use.
The game could not be officiated.
Proper use of the technique. That's all. I fully support it.
There was enough encroachment going on that it was creating some incidental grids and Cali box outs along the way.
Cast your permanent on their side of the table.
Right.
Your land should be exactly where it's at. If you're Chris, your land should be where the O is on the Open Series. That's where you start playing your permanents. And because you have to play your spells above your lands now, I expect to see the Elvis Mystic where the N is. That's where things should begin.
The game within the game.
That's right.
Within the game.
It just depends on how early you want to start the encroachment. Because you can start farther back and then slowly work your way up.
The most effective encroachments I've seen involve slowly but surely moving into the other person's side of the table.
Yeah.
If you start off just throwing things at your creatures at your opponent's lands, they're going to tell you to back up.
That's true.
You got to ease into it. Before they know it, they're actually backing away from the table. The tip for all of you aspiring competitive Magic players out there.
See, it's a slow start here for Chris. He's not quite at the O with the Elvish Mystic as he does Search of a Forest with the Wooded Foothills. We'll see how Mize wants to start things off here. Chris with his best start, obviously, with Elvish Mystic. Basic planes here for Logan. Looks like he'll just pass the turn back. No favorite Hoplite, no Laguna Band Trailblazer. Roast the draw here for Andersen. Sylvan Caryatid pass the turn back. No second land. Looks like he'll be casting his mana this game. Mize will play a Hero of Eros. He's down to 19. Search up an island with that Flooded Strand. Tie game right now. Andersen with a Hornet Nest.
Andersen casting Hornet Nest this turn instead of Roast. Somewhat of a risky play here, as it may give Logan the opportunity to get Aqueous Form with protection on his hero, and then Chris does not have a lot of outs.
Well, there's Aqueous Form. Here's Mana Confluence. There's Ordeal of Thassa. You called this one. Here come the beatdowns. Here comes the card draw.
Well, it still only puts it to 5-5.
Yeah.
Roast could still be good, but if Logan has any one of a number of cards, Chris does not have much of an answer to this.
Yeah. There's a Defiant Strike. For me, needlessly risky.
I don't know. I'm sympathetic to Chris's deck is not very good against Aqueous Form regardless, and if he has no pressure in play, Logan's going to find another creature. I'm not sure if he's supposed to roast or play Hornet Nest, but I understand the logic of not roasting because Aqueous Form is going to be hard for him to beat regardless.
I would, if I'm not going to deploy roast that turn, I'd rather deploy a Man Accelerate.
That I'm on board with, yeah.
Because I have Xenagos in my hand. My thought process here is that Hornet Nest on the surface seems like a really good card against Heroic, but if you take a look at Logan's build, he has 4 Aqueous Form and 2 copies of Stratus Walk. It's just not really going to work very often.
I agree with you that I would have preferred for Chris to play either a Man Accelerator or Roast over Hornet Nest that turn. Get your shop set up, you can take a couple hits there, and then you have Hornet Nest.
Now, if you want to roast a Hornet Nest, we can have a conversation.
Well, now it doesn't matter because he can't get Aqueous Form off the table. And
yeah, so I actually think roasting Hornet Nest is in the conversation now.
Oh, just to try to race back?
Yeah.
Sure. Break it open. Bang.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a route that he has to go now.
Yeah, this is fine. I mean, he doesn't have another route. Unfortunately, he's dead in likely 2 turns.
Yeah.
But this is better than nothing.
Now, if he can somehow make it 3 turns, if Logan's draw kind of falls apart a little bit, that's ideal for him. I find it to be unlikely. But, you know, next turn he can play Xenagos and really generate an advantage. He's actually going to be plus mana on Xenagos if he casts it.
But to what end?
That's the question.
It's maybe better for Chris to save the roast in his hand, play some more mana, and that way if he draws his second roast, he might be able to kill this creature.
Sure.
Because I think the way things stand right now, if Logan has anything to target the hero with, it's a 2-turn clock and there's nothing for Chris to do next turn.
Yep.
Remember, deck lists are public, so Logan knows the Aqueous Form is good.
It really couldn't be better. Might as well start by playing a Temple. Take a look at that top card. To the bottom it goes. There's another Aqueous Form. It's a 2-turn clock.
Yeah, now we're in 2-turn territory.
Yeah. Coming on in, gets to scry twice. To the bottom. Take a look at this one. To the bottom. That's the turn back. Andersen's going to draw. We know he's got Xenagos in hand. Just don't know how much he can actually really do with it. There's Xenagos. Yep, and that's going to do it. Logan Mize is going to win this match here over Chris Andersen. 2-0. White Blue Heroic will take care of Green Red Devotion rather quickly. A pretty good matchup there for Mize. And you know what? He's going to be playing against in the finals because there's a mirror taking place in the semis right now.
Yeah, very good bracket here for Logan. You can see why the matchup is so solid, especially with his build. 4 main deck copies of Aqueous Form. So powerful against Green Devotion. And a very challenging card for Chris to beat. And both times it showed up for Logan in game 1 and in game 2, it felt like that was a wrap.
Well, we've just been informed right now that Ross Merriam and Ton Wynn are still in game number 1. So as we